Hello and welcome back to Division 5G. This is the recap of week 1. So if you watched the precap, you would have seen at that point 2 out of the 4 games had already been played. So the Gorgoth Allgreys and the Damyankees had drawn, and FC Armenstein and Shikar Ghoul Bears, they had both uh, drawn as well. So I'll be focusing mainly on the 2 other games that we've had this week and then talk a little bit about the matchups. So the 2 other games, we've got the Frankfurt Fumblers lost 2-0 to the Testudines. So Frankfurt Fumblers are the Halflings, coached by Drunken. I did get a message from Drunken during the week saying, unfortunately, as part of this game, the Hail Mary pass Halfling has died. They had a tragic death of just getting blocked, apparently. And Drunken was saying he was considering maybe he should have bought a Wandering Apothecary instead of a Wizard or something. But I think in terms of that, there's not really a lot you can do. I mean, you don't want to outpower your halflings that much. Hail Mary pass, although it is a bit sad to lose it, I don't think it's the end of the world, and probably the wizard gave you a much better chance of actually winning the game. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. They didn't make it. And also, block halfling got missed next game, and also another random halfling, Largo Spoonit, died, but I'm assuming he's been replaced by a fresh person because they're cheap. So not a great game for Frankfurt Fumblers, but they are halflings, so you kind of expect that a little bit. Testudines, so only one person leveled up. The Lion Woman is now got Dirty Player. I believe that's the right person. Yes. But a couple Blitzers got a bit more SPP, I think. So let's have a look. Yes, plenty of SPP there. So that's 17 SPP, which is pretty good. And yeah, a few more players getting closer to leveling. These blitzers getting close to leveling. Plenty of line women are close to leveling as well. And both the plus strength and the mighty blow could just get an MVP and get another level up as well. Not a lot else has changed, but a good win in the bag for Mr. Leibniz and the Testudines, and getting a bit more SPP. And then so the other match was Totally Acting Up lost 2-0 to a Fistful of Zeros. So Fistful of Zeros, I believe that's the Wood Elf team, and Totally Acting Up, yep, are Necromantic. So in this game, uh, Totally Acting Up, looking at the report on Discord, didn't get any level ups. So they've stayed pretty much the same. No injuries either for Totally Acting Up. I wonder. So they did get a little bit of SPP. They caused some Kaz, and Bill Paxton, the Ghoul, got the MVP. So Bill Paxton's close to getting level up. He might be able to pass or something to get the level. White's close to leveling up. That's another potential pass target in the next game. And this Werewolf obviously probably wants to get a touchdown in the next game as well. Von Perlman, one Kaz away from getting block, which is obviously very important for the first column. So that's pretty good. And luckily, not too much SPP on the zombies. This DP zombie seems to have hogged quite a lot. It's probably what, 2 MVPs and a Kaz or something like that. Yeah, 2 MVPs. But otherwise, it looks like the MVPs are falling on the positionals, which is of course what you want as Necromantic. You don't want your zombies hogging up all the SPP. They also have recruited 004 from the Fistful of Zeros or double O's. Don't know which one of those it is. Zombie. So as you can tell, a Wood Elf must have died. So let's have a look at the Wood Elf team. So Wood Elf team did well in this game. They got 2 touchdowns, and so unfortunately, one of the players, 004, which was a lineman, died. They had just leveled up. I think they got the MVP. Yeah, so they had 3 SPP. Leveled up from the MVP, but also died. And they also had this MNG lineman. He leveled up and got guard, so that's obviously great for the team, having a guard player to come back in. Because Wood Elves, Would love half guard because it just makes it easier to get sort of, I don't know, chain pushes if you're trying to do one turns, and also potentially if you manage to break open the cage a little bit, getting that guard in there and hitting the ball carrier. Though with a strength plus strength war dancer, maybe it's not as needed as much as usual, but still, lovely thing to have. Only slight downside is the M&G, 110k in the bank. Maybe it's time to buy a catcher or a thrower, or maybe they're saving up for the tree. I think the tree's 120, so that's slightly annoying if they are saving up for the tree that they're just under. But otherwise, good start. Showing about the dead lineman, but you're going to lose linemen as you go on. And the good thing is, none of the war dancers died, and none of the level players died. Okay, so let's just do a quick recap of where the other teams are, uh, which I haven't talked about because we'd already seen them games played. So if you remember, this Chorf team had a block bull centaur die, but otherwise their team's looking fairly nice. Got 110k, so probably saving up to rebuy the bull centaur. The Nurgle team, yep, they have Mighty Blow Pesticore. I think they bought a second Pesticore, was what they did, and they got Dodge on the Wug Warrior. And then we have Undead team, doing well with lots of Mighty Blow. Got a Guard Ghoul. I'm not sure if that had been rolled last time when I looked at it. I think that may have been selected since then, and they've got Guard now, which is obviously great. Like, it's pretty much, there aren't many doubles that you want to take with a Ghoul because they get General and Agility. I think they get General and Agility. Yeah. So apart from Guard, the only one you might consider is Mighty Blow, but you get Mighty Blow on the mummies and the whites, so it's not particularly that great. And having the guard, so quite often people have guard on the whites as well. But having the guard on the ghouls, slightly more mobile, have the dodge built in. They do die more easily, but it does mean you can focus more on putting your whites into killers, and then they'll get more SPP and get to guard quicker. So very nice to have the guard on the ghoul. Again, 130k. Sorry, excuse me there. Could buy another ghoul, but maybe they don't want to. And then the Dark Elf team, they got these nice plus strength, nice blow and block. But they don't have anything. They have enough money to buy a lineman, which maybe you do, but you probably might want to be saving up for the extra wilt shelf. Or runner, maybe. Probably not assassin, because the assassin's just so terrible. Right, so let's have a look at what we're going into in week 2. So first up, FC Armenstein versus the Damn Yankees. So again, FC Armenstein is the Nurgle, and Damn Yankees are the Dark Elves. So, Dark Elves are very good low TV team. They got the plus strength and the mighty blow, so that'll help them deal with some of the strength of the Nurgle. And the Nurgle only have 2 rerolls and no block, so they're not going to be that great at blocking. And they're about the same team value as well, so there's not going to be any inducements unless there's significant loners. I'm not sure if there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so actually there will be 140 extra TV here. So that'll leave the Nurgle with about 100, 120, something like that. So they could, in theory, they might be able to scum a wizard by using their extra cash, but they probably don't want to at this point. They probably just want to save on to their money. So they could buy an extra reroll or potentially a bribe. Yeah, I think obviously the Dark Elves are favoured because they're just so much better at low TV. Nurgle's not that great at low TV. So I think probably the Dark Elves are going to take it, but maybe the Nurgle can pull something out of the bag. Then we've got Totally Acting Up versus the Frankfurt Fumblers. So that's Necromantics versus the Halflings. I don't think anyone will be surprised when I say I'm going to predict that the Necromantic take it. They've got a fair amount of block, which is great against the Halflings. Uh, Dirty Player probably isn't going to be that relevant because you don't really want to foul halflings that much. Maybe it will be used against a tree, but I think it's quite unlikely. Um, and yeah, plenty of blocks, so that means taking out the halflings. Um, but they don't have. They do have the claw on the werewolves, so in theory they could deal with some of the trees, but it's probably not worth putting everyone in to try and take down the tree. The halflings, now that Hail Mary's gone out and block is MG, they're almost a fresh team. They just got this grab on the Streaman. But that does mean they will be getting slightly more inducements than usual. So they've got about 550 inducements. So they'll probably get Deep Root with Chef and who knows, maybe an Apo or a Reroll. I don't think they can quite afford Deep Root, Chef, and a Wizard. They might be able to afford Zara, Chef, and a Wizard because I can't remember exactly how much Zara is. I think she's something like 270 or 280. And obviously Zara with the stakes will be extra effective against Necromantic. So that's an interesting option. But again, unless Zara or Deeproot put in some work and regen doesn't work for the Necromantic team, I think we're probably going to see a few more dead flings and probably a win for the Necromantic just because that's how fling games go. Then we've got Fistful of Zeros, so that's the Wood Elf versus the Gorgoth All Greys, which are the Chorfs. So the Wood Elves might slightly be regretting taking Dodge first on the lineman level ups there. Uh, I think I'm going to say this is probably slightly favoured towards the Chorfs. That although they are missing a Bull Centaur, I think if they can pick up with a Hobgoblin, because there's no strip ball or tackle on the Wood Elves, even with the leaping in of the plus strength Wood Hunter, it's going to be quite hard to get the ball off this Blodge Hobgoblin. They've got 3 Mighty Blow, which is obviously going to be great against Wood Elves AV9. AV9? If only Wood Elves had AV9, then everyone would play Wood Elves. No, AV7. So there may be some casualties going on here, and obviously with a lot of loners, so they've got 6 players, they're going to have 5 loners, so that's 350k extra. So 1250 they'll be at, versus Chorfs, I think they've got 1 extra, so they'll be 1150, so maybe they'll get a bribe or something, the Chorfs that is. So again, more attrition against the Wood Elves, so I think this is probably likely to go to the Chorfs. However, things like a blitz or interesting kickoff results or just some good dice from the Wood Elf can easily make it so the Wood Elves win. So that'll be probably one of the most interesting matches as it could go either way depending on how the dice fall. And then the last game is, so that's the Undead versus the Amazons. So this is going to be interesting as well. So the Undead, they've got plenty of Mighty Blow, but they don't have any tackle. So it's going to be a case of if they can get those both downs or those powers against the Amazons, then the Amazons could be going home pretty injured. But otherwise, I think the Amazons probably have the advantage. What's the TV difference? Yeah, the TV difference is basically negligible. So I think Amazons, they are a very good low TV team. So are Undead, but the Undead doesn't have any tackle yet. So I think it's slightly favoured towards the Amazons, as I was saying. But again, this is the kind of thing where if some bad dodge rolls from the Amazons or lots of powers from the Undead could mean that the Amazons just get completely wiped out and it becomes a very one-sided game. So that's again probably the last 2 of these matchups are going to be the ones to watch for most exciting. Halflings, well, they're always going to be fun to watch, but probably maybe a little bit of a foregone conclusion. Who knows? They can pull something out the bag. And FC Armenstein versus the Damn Yankees. Again, I think that one's a bit of a one-sided match just because of the difference in how effective Dark Elves are at low TV versus Nurgle are at low TV. So yeah, and that is about it. It's quite a short one today, just because I don't have a huge amount of time. Hopefully, next week or the week after, I'll start adding some clips from the games, looking at some highlights. So if you do have any highlights from your games that you think would be good to go into the recap and you want other people to see, let me know. Try and give me like a turn time or something like that, and I might try and incorporate them into the recap. Otherwise, have a good week of Blood Bowl. Hope all your players don't die, or maybe they do, and I will see you next time.